What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. I know I am, and if you are, you need to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam. You'll be kidnapped by a man named Jose who's going to take you to his village in Uruguay and sell you on the black market. Yeah, that's right, guys. I don't make the rules, but I would press the like button. It's not worth the risk. Anyways, guys, what's going on? It's your boy Scrub here, and as you can tell from the title and thumbnail, today I have a pretty entertaining story for you guys. This is another subscriber story. You guys are really just, carrying the channel this month. Amen. Lord save me. I appreciate all of you guys sending in some swagtastic stories. Anyways, guys, today I have a story about a field trip gone wrong. Yeah, that's right. Normally school sucks bad enough, but school on the go is actually way worse, and the person who sent me this story actually had the most unfortunate look that I've ever seen on a field trip in my life. But regardless, guys, you guys are going to enjoy the video, so buckle your seatbelt and get ready. And if you have any crazy stories that you think people would enjoy, feel free to send them to me on Instagram at Scrubby or my Twitter at Scrubby_69, and let's do it. So, for whatever reason, I feel like schools try to make things on field trips educational when the reality is everybody just kind of wants to go to get out of class. And this guy's school, I guess, kind of realized that because they were going on a field trip to an amusement park for their physics class. You know, the physics teacher was like, hey, what's a better way to learn about physics than ditching school and going and not thinking about physics all day? That's what really matters, you know? I think it's funny when teachers try to, like, trick themselves into thinking that somehow this is educational. They're like, oh, roller coasters use physics, so therefore kids will learn about physics by going to an amusement park. It's like, listen, man, when I'm on a roller coaster, the last thing I'm thinking about is, that middle-aged bald man did tell me about the conservation of motion. No, I'm out there on a roller coaster having myself a good time, you know? But whatever, the physics teacher gets it approved that they're going to go there to learn about physics, which nobody is going to be paying attention to. And obviously, the entire grade gets incredibly hyped because it's pretty dang fun when you get to go to an amusement park with all your friends for, like, school. Plus, there was, like, a worksheet that, they gave as so they could prove that you were learning, and it was like easy questions that you could do in 5 minutes. It wasn't like you were actually gonna have to work all day. So everyone is hyped, everybody's starting to get excited, everybody's starting to have this awesome time. So before they go into the amusement park, they're all on the school bus, and being on a school bus is a miserable experience, don't get me wrong. Like, the amount of times I've been on a school bus and been like, oh wow, I sure am enjoying this, can't wait to come back here, is absolutely zero. Nobody has ever been happy to be on a school bus. That's like, I don't know, where people get diseases and people learn to, be like, your childhood dies on a school bus, basically. You guys know what I'm saying? It's true. Your childhood can barely survive being on a school bus because it's just one of the worst places to ever exist in humanity. Like, if you went back to the ancient Greeks and Romans and said, hey, you can have internet, but you have to be on a school bus, they would probably go, no, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I don't really think that's worth it. But regardless, they're on the bus, and their principal and their teachers and the owner of this amusement park, or like, not the owner, the guy running it that day, like the head manager, I really doubt they got the CEO of this amusement park, but you guys get the idea. The owner comes on and says, hey, we have a lot of problems when schools visit of people getting rowdy and causing issues. We want you to know that we will not hesitate to kick any of you out, and if there's a problem with any of you, the entire school will be asked to leave. Do you understand? And everybody's like, yeah, of course, and the principal is like, hey, this is a privilege. Please do not cause any problems. Don't embarrass me or the school. And, their physics teacher says the same thing. Don't embarrass me. None of you guys get up to no good. And I swear adults have this thing for foreshadowing where, like, they preemptively talk about things that are going to be a problem. They're like, we don't expect you guys to be in trouble, but we're going to give you this huge breakdown as to what happens if you get in trouble. And, of course, after hearing that, everybody proceeded to get in tons of trouble that day and caused a lot of problems. But either way, it was definitely not a good recipe for good things to happen, because almost as soon as the kids are let go into the park, like, chaos starts to ensue. And I don't know if it was the physics teacher or the principal or the owner of the park that didn't think this through, but for some reason they decided that these kids were going to be mature enough to not need chaperones, just roam around this amusement park with no adult supervision. Let your hormones run free. And almost immediately there's like problems off the bat. So within the first hour of them being there, 8 kids get caught stealing. But I guess the owner of the park, for whatever reason, was like, okay, kids are stupid, they try to steal stuff, I'm not gonna punish the school for these kids being idiots and stealing, which is good, because these kids weren't very good at stealing either. Like, they would walk into the store talk to the person that was in charge of it, pick up merchandise, and then walk out, and were surprised when they got caught. And when the people were asking them, like, why would you try to do it? That's the worst way to steal stuff. They said, oh, we were trying to act casual. Yeah, acting casual means not bringing suspicion to yourself, not walking up to the guy in the hat store and saying, hey man, cool hats, putting one on, and then walking out. Like, that's not acting casual. That's just obvious theft. Imagine this in any other stealing scenario. You walk up to the guy you're attempting to carjack and you say, yo dude, nice car, and then throw him out of the car and drive away. And when police are like, why did you do that? You know, you say, oh, I was acting casual. No, you were acting like you were an IRL GTA player that was just hell-bent on ruining everything. I feel bad for killing that guy. I'm kind of a jerk. I'm not even gonna lie. I kind of deserve to get punched in the face for that. So there's kids stealing things. There's kids, you know, going on dark rides and enjoying the ride. You know what I'm saying? But not enjoying the ride for the reason that the ride is good and other reasons. So, you know, by noon, the guy's like, all right, you need to get your kids out of the park. Like, they're causing too many problems. Half of them are causing issues, stealing, causing all these things. And they're like, all right, fine. We're going to round them up. So they come over the intercom and they basically say, all right, guys, since you guys can't behave, we're leaving. Way to go, you morons. You have 20 minutes to get back to the bus. If you're late, there'll be a deduction of points, yada, yada, yada. Some threat that they're going to get a worse grade. So, oh, I swore. Oops. Sorry, I had to edit out that really quick. So, when this kid who sent me this story hears this, he decides, you know, okay, look, I'm gonna go on this roller coaster, the most intense roller coaster of the park, really quick. And they were eating lunch, him and his group. He said, look, the wait line's 15 minutes, so we should be able to get on the ride and run to the bus as fast as possible. And they're all like, all right, screw it. That was what they wanted to do anyways. Like, all day they had wanted to ride this roller coaster. They hadn't gotten to it. They had 20 minutes. So they leave their lunch half-eaten, so they've just eaten, and they get to the roller coaster. And the kid already wasn't feeling too well that day. He wasn't. And he kind of looks at his friends and goes, are you feeling good? And he goes, no, not really, but it'll be okay. So they're kind of talking, and the kid who he's talking to is like, yeah, I'm kind of nauseous, but it's no big deal, you know. He's like, yeah, that's true. You're going to be okay, though? He's like, yeah, no big deal. He doesn't think anything of it. You know, if you think you're going to get sick on a roller coaster, you probably don't get on one. So they're both not feeling very well, so they're kind of talking in the back of the group. And the people behind them is his crush and her friend. So they all four start kind of talking, and they're really vibing, and she's like, oh, I've never been on this ride, and he's like, oh, neither have you, and she's like, aha, well, next time I'll have to ride it with you, we'll have to come some other time, and like implies that he should ask her out to come back here, right? So he's feeling hyped right now, but she's gonna ride with her friend. So they get in the seats, and he is sitting in, there's 3 rows. So the first row has the other kid who's sick. The kid behind him is the kid who sent me the story, and behind him is his crush. And that's how the 3 are. And there's obviously people next to them. It's not like a one-road thing, but you guys get the idea. So he was sitting next to his friend, but the other kid who he was talking to, who was also sick, is in front of him. So the 2 people that don't feel very well are sitting in front of one and in front of the other. So, or behind the other. I hope that makes sense. I did my best to describe that as good as I could. So they're on the roller coaster, and they start going up the hill, and the kid in front of him who's not feeling very good turns around and looks at him and says, I don't feel so good. And he's like, oh, okay. And he goes, I'm sorry. And before my friend can respond, or not my friend, the kid who sent me the story can respond to the story, he vomits everywhere. And they're going uphill, so the vomit falls back and hits the kid who's telling me this story, right? And he's already not feeling very well. So he, to avoid the puke, looks to his left, but the way the seats were, that makes him look behind him onto his crush, and the vomit hits him, and he throws up from being grossed out by the vomit, and his vomit spews all over his crush. All over his crush. So now he's covered in vomit, and he just vomited all over his crush. And call me crazy here, but no girl wants to go out with the guy that just vomited all over her. So obviously he's mortified, and he starts saying, I'm so sorry. And it's all over this girl's face. It's all over her shirt. And she's like, it's okay. But it's one of those things where, like, you say it's okay because there's nothing you can do about it, but you're not actually cool with it. You know, it's just an it's okay. And he's like, well, hey, well, we're going to just get this roller coaster over with. It's the most embarrassing day of my life, but it doesn't matter. And then it happens. They get to the top of this hill, and they get stuck. The ride stops working, and they're stuck up there for 3 minutes in awkward silence as, you know, he's just sitting in the fact that he just vomited all over his crush while also soaked in vomit. So the ride finally goes, but it's like at the top of the hill. So he turns back to look at his crush again. The ride jolts suddenly. He throws up again all over her after it had already like dried. So he pukes on his crush twice, and the ride ends and they get off and they go to the bus and they show up and they're like, "What happened to you guys?" And everybody that was in that group, because obviously not just him and his crush got covered in vomit, everybody in that little section did. And they're like, "We had a vomit accident." And they had to sit in the back of the bus together, which was unair conditioned, and just sit in the baking puke that was all over them. And he vomited on his crush, which I'm sure did not improve his chances of actually getting a date. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the most disastrous field trip story that I think I've ever heard. Vomiting on your crush is pretty dang embarrassing. Like, I really don't think it could get any worse than that. But, yeah, if you enjoyed, feel free to go down below and scope out the merch. Press the like button, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and turn on notifications. Today's notification shout out goes to Random Stuff JMJ. Big shout out to you for having on notifications. If you want notifications, shout out, turn them on, send a screenshot to my Instagram at Scrubby, and I shout somebody out every single day. But, yeah, moral of the story, don't throw up on your crush. This has been Scrubby. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. And hopefully I'll see you guys next time with another video. I'm out. Peace.